welcome to the Something to Play for podcast. I'm really excited for today's guest. We have a really special guest, Ronald Garces. Welcome to the show, brother.
Appreciate you, man. Thank you for having me.
Awesome, anytime. So, Ronald, we're going to get right into it. For the community, we want everybody to know, who is Ronald Garces? Talk to us a little bit about yourself.
Okay, I'm a former Venezuelan professional player. Born and raised in Venezuela. Came to the States several years ago for a playing opportunity. Right after I ended up my career, my main purpose was to give everything what the sport gave to me on every single aspect of my life.
Love
And then, I can say today that I'm a full-time professional goalkeeper coach. I dedicate myself to preparing goalkeepers that want to reach the next level, but also human beings.
That's beautiful. And that's why I tell a lot of us as coaches, we really have to have a passion for it. Because if you don't have a passion for this,
Yeah.
I don't think we're in the right business. Ronald, so I want to get right into it. You playing in the U20 World Cup, that's an experience that a lot of people don't really get to, get experience to have. Talk to us about that. That's really, really great. I want the community and our viewers to hear about that experience you had.
We spoke it off camera at some point, and I think that's probably like the biggest thing that a player could ever have. It's not reaching professional levels. Obviously, is like the big dream, but going international, playing against the best of the world,
Yeah.
that's just something that takes everything from you, right? And I believe that the players that have those kind of opportunities, it opens your spectrum in a bunch of ways, right? You unlock a level, but when you reach those levels, you see the sport, you see life, you see everything completely different. Just for the fact that, you remember every single detail about the process and what it took you to actually be in there, right? You gotta compete not only at professional levels, being young, right, which is probably like the hardest thing to do, at those levels. If you're not playing in first division at 16 or 17,
That's for sure.
You literally have no shot of even getting called to national team experiences, right? Second, a lot of people don't know this, but a U20 World Cup is probably the diamonds of the sport.
Yes.
Right? You'll see crazy talent. You see, it's even funny, over the years and everything. Sometimes I'm watching, TV or whatever on a Sunday, and you see guys that you played on a pre-World Cup game. They're winning the Champions League or like stuff like that, right? So I think it's just like a different scale of the game, but also mentally, it gives you a different spectrum of the game. And at those levels, it's not about playing good. Obviously, you got to be talented and have the skill to play at those levels, but you gotta have a high level of culture. You gotta have a high level of consciousness. You gotta have a high level of top human being skills.
Correct.
Right? You're not dealing with a certain amount of people. You're dealing with the best of the world.
Correct.
Right? So obviously, it's not only about what you do on the field, it's what you do off. And I think that's something that I really reinforced in my life and actually taking myself always to the next level. As a kid, okay, learning a new language.
Correct.
Finding a purpose, having a reason to be like that. And then when you're at that top level, you see a lot of people that are very similar to you, that you don't see around you often, right? So then you understand. I was like, okay, wow.
That's awesome. That's really, that's a great experience. I have a question, playing in, and being a part of the World Cup. How did you, what was your mindset like going into it? Because a lot of people don't understand. It's about mindset.
Yeah.
I don't care what sport you play.
Yeah.
Having a mindset with that kind of pressure, listen, that's not easy. So how was your mindset leading up to the World Cup and during the World Cup?
I asked this question a million times, to myself. Like even right now, looking at it as a coach, which is completely different, right? We deal with so many athletes, so many people around you, and you see that the sport becomes harder and harder and harder and harder And then you rewind, and then you say, like, how the heck did I reach that, right? And wow, you understand the protocol of things, the process of things. It's just, it looks almost impossible to actually sneak in there, right? And one of the biggest things that I would say is that somehow I always had my survival mode instinct alive, right? And I think that is linked to a bunch of different reasons that go off the field, right? We're talking about childhood. We're talking about, necessity. We're talking about a bunch of different things that, straighten up your character when you're actually doing those things.
Wow, that's deep. Wow.
Right? So, for an example, I'll give you this. I grew up in a very modest family that we struggled when we were young, right? My way of seeing life or having an opportunity in life, something, was throughout the sport, right? So you see, it goes beyond skill. It goes beyond all that kind of stuff, right? Second, obviously in a country like Venezuela, you either play a sport or not. You want to have a shot in life, or you got to play a sport, right? And like that, you'll have a bunch of thousands or millions kids actually trying to do that, because it's actually escape from the reality of life, right? So it goes beyond the field, right? It becomes on what you eat, on the opportunities that you can provide to your family, like all those kind of things, right? Third aspect is that team that qualified was the first in history.
Wow.
Yeah.
The first in history.
The first in history.
Listen
right?
to that. Listen
So
to that.
all these kids, with big time dreams, coming from, very, very, very limited families and resources and everything, saw an opportunity and a light at the end of the tunnel, right? So obviously, I think like the main character of that team was survival mode, survival skills, right? So obviously, when you're mentally into that stage, well, you're not gonna you're not gonna feel under or below average level when you face somebody. I'll give you this example. The first game that we played against Nigeria. Nigeria was the world champions, right? All these kids will play at Premier League. They had Premier League games already, and we come from a league that was no near that, right? So, I would say it's just survival mode skills, and obviously finding always a way of keeping that survival mode skills on you every time, even when you're comfortable.
Catch. That's Ronald. That's awesome, and I'm really. You could tell when you were speaking, you kind of were taken back into the time of playing. I saw the passion. I see it in your eyes. I love it. And these are things that we're trying to do, and trying to, just keep it real with the kids, because a lot of people think it's so easy. It's not easy. You talking about where you came from, your family. This is what we want. We want people to hear what it takes from a true professional in the game, And, so transferring it over, Ronald, so through your playing career, you've accomplished a lot. Now, we want to know a little bit about you and what you're doing now businessly, because you took it from the professional game into a professional business. So talk to us a little bit about your academy and what you're doing and what your goals are for your academy, because I love what you're doing in the community, and I want the people to know.
Appreciate it. Well, after retiring, right? I think it's very, very hard to find a purpose, right? Just for the fact that you dedicated all your life for this, right? Since I was a little kid, I would just train to be a pro, train to be a pro, train to be a pro. Okay, you lived the dream. Okay, dream's over now.
Is that what you do now?
What do I do now?
Yeah.
Right? First, how do I find purpose? How do I find a way of keeping that fire inside of me? And that's something that I felt after I retired. I had a period of time of like, okay, what the heck am I gonna do now? How do I fire myself up? How do I, keep myself, and believe it or not, you enter some type of depression.
100%.
Right after you play.
100%.
Right? Because you know, you don't have your routines anymore. You've been doing this all your life, right? You know, you go to the you go to the gym.
Yeah.
You eat well. You know, you have certain amount of certain lifestyle that you want to keep having. Even financially wise, it's completely different, right? So if you don't have those things in your life, you know, you're gonna feel lost. Eventually, you're gonna feel lost.
Yeah.
Right? You're gonna wake up in the morning and you're gonna say like, okay, wow, okay, what do I do now?
Yeah.
What do I do now? Right? You know, I'll be completely honest. I tried different jobs. I tried office stuff. I tried multiple things, right, to try to find something that would fire me up again. Because there was one point of, you know, Ron being a professional player, right? But at some point, Ron hating soccer too.
Yeah, I
right?
do it too. I love it.
You hating it because you don't have it anymore.
Exactly.
Right? And you don't want to know anything about it because it hurts.
Yes.
Right?
The memories. Yes.
The memories, and then you know you wake up, you have dreams, you know it's a whole process, man, of assimilating things. Right? Okay. Right after, I started eventually coaching. I started with little kids, you know, falling in love with it, you know, just enjoying the time. Non-profit, I didn't charge anybody. I didn't want to live out of a kid, you know, at that point, obviously. Right? So it was a process of falling in love with the game again, appreciating the little details.
Correct.
You know, appreciating the improvement of somebody, because that's priceless. You know, when you have a little kid and he improves not only on the field, but you know, you see a small committed young man and doing homework and being a great son and just being committed in life, right? You say like, oh, okay, you know, this is something that it you know, it gets you like, wow, I really want to do this, right? You start falling in love with the process and all these kind of things. And then you start adding all your experience, right? All your experience as a kid, as a former professional player, as a bunch of other different things, and then you're like, wow, I can actually make an impact on somebody's life. And it's not only about him making, in this case, being like goalkeepers, making saves and doing like all these kind of things. It's all about, okay, wow, okay, you're like off the field, wow, okay, you're improving on this, and that. And on the field, wow, you still got the ability of improving and doing all these things as well, right? You see improvement of people, right? So GK Academy was born like that, under that purpose of seeing people win on every single aspect. It wasn't, okay, yeah, I create top goalkeepers, yes, okay. But one of the main top requirements of the structure is if you're not doing things well off the field, you're getting caught. As simple as that. You cannot be part of me. You cannot be part of what I do because I work for you, right? I don't ask anything in exchange but performance and off the field requirements.
High performance, because like we were talking off camera, and you know, I love the mentality how you know, I feel like, you know, your academy is like a professional academy. It doesn't matter if you're a professional or not. The way you run it, you know, just as you know, us talking before, is professionalism. So I love that part of it. I love it.
Yeah. The whole purpose of all of this is transmitting that idea to the goalkeepers, right? You know, $1 million question. Why are you here? Why do you want to do this? Why do you want to submit yourself to all of this crazy hard work? Like, why, when you probably have other options to make yourself a little more comfortable?
Correct.
You see what I mean? Right? You want to dedicate yourself to reaching your next level, but you always got the opportunity to choose a video game, something different, you know, play with your friends, play all these kind of things, right? What is the real purpose of why you want to do this, right? So, you know, that's a mentality that I always want to transmit to them, especially to the parents that are the ones that are, you know, behind the scene and are a big part of what we do. I call it the triangle of trust. The triangle of trust is the goalkeeper, the parent, and the coach. When one of those sides are not aligned, this is not going to work.
Correct. Wow.
Right? So that's a mindset that we want to transmit. Non-negotiable. If you can't follow those requirements, I'm sorry, but this is not the right place to be.
I love it. Like I said, you take the, the professionalism in the game and you bring it to your business. And I think, some people, they don't know what it's like to be a professional. And like I said, people like yourself, like myself, like other coaches out there, keeping that kind of professionalism in the game, especially now, is what's going to take the kid to whatever level you want.
Yeah.
He's going to take that not only in sports, but he can also take that in life. And talking about professionalism, who are some of the people that have come through the your academy? We would like to know some of those names, maybe some stories about what it took from the beginning to the end. This is what we want to hear about, Coach.
Yeah, as we have a program inside the academy that's called the 1% Club.
Oh wow, the
Right?
1% Club.
Yeah, the 1% Club, right? So the 1% Club are obviously goalkeepers that show a different type of mentality first, and obviously you gotta have the talent to be part of it.
Correct.
Right? All these kids are 100% dedicated to the purpose of reaching their next level. Some of them will be professionals. Some of them will reach college level, right? It's pretty much like an over 15 program.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. So we do have only one, but it's just out of this world that he has the ability to be there. Mm-hmm. But it's a family that is obsessed with winning, right? They're fully committed to this. We got obviously MLS Academy kids and up, mm-hmm. starting with college level kids.
Okay.
And obviously the pros that are in there, right? So this program started around, I would say 3 or 4 years ago.
Okay.
Right? With majority of them were college players.
Okay.
Right? I would say 98% of them today are professionals.
Wow.
Right? So, and the difference between this program and it's just the amount of information, the amount of commitment that there's around there. So we created like a pack. Okay. Right? So we got a pack. We all support each other. We all find ways. This sport, it's all about connections. It's all about people It's all about opportunities. It's all about all that kind of stuff. So the more we help each other out, the better, right? So we got guys like Johan Peñaranda, which was an FIU student, okay. Right? Right now he's competing for the Golden Glove and USL 1. Beautiful. Right, being 21 years old. We got guys like Hugo Farol, like he was also an FIU student, one of the best goalkeepers in USL Championship. We got a guy like Justin Garces, kid from Kendall, been working with us for a while. We're helping him in a bunch of different things. World Cup, U.S. national team, plays with Atlanta United in MLS, and Grant McKella, kid from Destin, Florida, plays in San Antonio in USL Championship right now. Okay. But there's other top figures, but the most important thing is the new generation that it's coming up.
Correct.
Right? Because we kind of broke the ice with these guys, but the ones under
that's the future.
Have a great opportunity to enjoy and have a purpose, but also have the support of guys that are actually in that spot, right? So the part of the mindset that we have is those guys supporting the new generations, because I don't want 5, I want 100, I want 200, right? And then it's just a generational thing. When those guys hop into that stage, we'll have another cycle of kids going, wow. Right? So it's a full commitment program. We ask for grades in school, we ask for performance, we ask for all these kind of things, and the most important thing is that we're complementing every single thing that they're doing in their environments. Wow. We're not here to, dispute things with clubs or coaches. No. I'm friends with the coaches. I'm there to support what they do in their environment. At the end, it's not what Ron wants, right? He's an egocentric guy. No, it's what I can do for that kid to play at the top level. Wow. It's all about them, not about me, right? So that's my purpose of giving back to the sport everything that it gave me. It's not about me. It's how can I help others to reach that top level.
Wow, that's Coach Ronald. I really love hearing what you're talking about, because I see, like I said, you see the passion, and a lot of people need to hear this. I feel like sometimes some of the parents, we talk to parents and different things, and, not in a bad way, but some parents never played the sport,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So that's why
Yeah.
they're entrusting their child in a coach like myself or a coach like you or
Yeah.
other coaches. So sometimes I feel like we have to trust the process. You know what I'm saying?
100%.
And trust the process by the people who've actually been there. Who are
Of course.
credible in that that field. So just hearing this kind of stuff is great, Coach, and sharing your story, your little bit of your story with us. I want to ask you one other question,
Sure.
Coach. One of the last questions, but it's very important. With the World Cup coming up, I always ask everybody who comes on this show, what are your thoughts? Who do you think is going to win the World Cup, and who do you think? What? Give me your little, rundown on the World Cup.
As a great South American, I'll go with the South American teams. I love the way Brazil is playing. I love the way Argentina is playing. They've been showing like great level. But like once again, I don't say this as a fan because I'm a fan of my country or the States,
Gotcha.
right? Which is my second country now. But I enjoy the game. I enjoy watching great football, and whoever wins it, it's gonna be a very good World Cup for sure.
For sure. Well, Coach Ronald, I really want to thank you for being a part of our show. I'm so excited that you came, that you were on here. And the thing I knew by bringing you onto this show is we're going to get real. You know what I'm saying? We talk, like we said, off camera, but I know even on camera, we got the real. So thank you so much, brother, for being a part of it.
Thank you so much for having me. And once again, two messages that I want to transmit to everybody out there.
Yes.
First, to the players, hard work is not negotiable. That is something that if you don't put the work in, forget about reaching something, right? And the second thing, nobody cares. We spoke about being real about this. At high levels of the sport, nobody cares what happens off the field or around you. You still got to deliver. You still got to deliver because that's why you're in that spot. Pressure, it's a privilege. You're in a spot of pressure because something or somebody believes that you can do the job, right? And the third thing, and I'll finish with this, to the parents especially, every single kid has a next level. The next level is different for every single kid, right? Not all of them are going to be professionals. Not all of them are going to be D1 players, right? Everybody has the next level. As long as you're reaching your next level, you're winning.
Wow.
And that's something that everybody has to take home.
Wow. Coach, you're the best. Thank you for being
Appreciate
a part of the
you.
show.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for tuning into this week's podcast. This week's raffle winner is
Christian Carrillo from the GK Academy.
Christian Carrillo.